The star path is behind us now and Twitch drops are done, so we're all looking forward to Update 5 from Disney Dreamlight Valley. But if you're not on Twitter, you might not know very much about our next update, so let's look at what we know so far and what it could mean. So far, Gameloft has shared these posts with us about Update 5. And I'll try to differentiate between the things that we definitely know, the things that seem likely, and things that are just ideas that we have based on the information that we've been given so far. So we know from the roadmap that we are to expect to uncover the secret to the forgetting. A princess races into the valley, the pictures in the Forgotten Lands, they show us the pumpkin house and they say early summer. Summer starts June 21st. In a later tweet, they did tell us that Update 5 will be dropping sometime in June, but with it being early summer, there is a possibility we could have to wait until after June 21st because that's when summer really arrives, but they could just as easily drop it in early June when people feel like summer is beginning. Now, in the past, they have held to the actual seasons, but hopefully we won't have to wait that long for Update 5. So we also have this tweet, which is more recent, where they again confirmed June as being when the update will arrive, and we'll talk a little bit more about this image later. But if we zoom in on the clock, it looks like the clock is saying 6:05, so I would not expect an update before June 5th. It is possible that it could be coming on June 5th. Of course, it's a possibility that this is all a coincidence, but that doesn't feel like Gameloft style. But I think it's also a very good possibility that June 5th will be when we get substantially more information about the update. Maybe that's when we get the release date. Maybe that's when we get to see the new art for Update 5. We learn about the title for it, more of the characters that might be coming, and get a bunch of more information then. Or maybe it is a hint at the day when they will tell us that information. Any of those feel possible. It is possible that it could be coming June 5th, but that feels early, especially having it as a hint there instead of a definite date and us not seeing much more. But I could see that as being our big reveal day, but we'll have to wait and see. But until we have a date, that is all that we know about when it is coming. Now, what's going to be in it based on the roadmap? We are expecting to see something about the main storyline because they say we'll be unveiling the secret to the forgetting, and we see our shadow self in the image. So that seems a given. Now, we would expect something to happen in the Forgotten Land since that's where the picture is, and we expect something to happen with that pumpkin house. And we know for sure we're getting at least one princess character based on the princess races into the valley, and that's what we know for sure from the roadmap. And they have been giving us additional information through social media posts about other things that are definitely coming in Update 5 and little previews, so we'll go through those as well. But looking at the roadmap, what seems likely based on this information? They have not confirmed at this time any specific characters that will be coming in Update 5. This is the only time when they even reference that a character will be coming when they say a princess races into the valley. It's safe to assume that we will be getting a princess character, but they have not told us which one. Now, it seems likely that if we're thinking of a princess that races, that there are two key options. The first one that seems most obvious to me is Vanellope from Wreck-It Ralph because she is a race car driver and a princess. And could you imagine what a Sugar Rush realm would look like? A candy-coated racetrack realm. And we do have Wreck-It Ralph sections in our collections tab for furniture, memories, and clothing. And I think Vanellope may have been one of the characters that we saw in the avatar designer tool early on. So it seems like she'll be coming to the game at some point, and this seems like it makes sense. We've also had the recent release of Disney Speedstorm, which is a racing game made by Gameloft, the same makers of Disney Dreamlight Valley. So having a race car driver as the princess who races into the valley seems like it would match really well. Now, there is one other character that I can think of that also is a princess that you could say races, because she races against the clock, races against time, and that would be Cinderella. You can imagine her just running down the steps of the palace at the stroke of midnight. So I think you could stretch it and say that she is also racing, but I feel like I am probably only thinking of her because I see the pumpkin house in the image as well. And if that wasn't there, I'm not sure if she would come to mind or not. I think she still could be coming, but I think she might be a secondary character to the character that lives in the pumpkin house. It would be reasonable to expect that we will probably be unlocking the pumpkin house, that the pumpkin house will be involved in some way, and that most likely we will see a character involved. Now, which character we currently don't know, but we do have some ideas of what seems most likely. Now, we've seen somebody who can turn pumpkins into furniture before. Fairy Godmother once turned a pumpkin into a carriage for Cinderella. And as we look through other pieces of information that Gameloft has given us, the Fairy Godmother seems like a really good match for some of the other things that are coming in this update as well. And then we also have this tweet that came out on May 27th that shows us the bench and this magic wand. And if you'll remember from the movie Cinderella, this is the bench where Cinderella meets Fairy Godmother. And that sure does look like Fairy Godmother's wand, the one that she had some trouble finding when she appeared in this scene. And so could this be where we meet Fairy Godmother? Do we find her wand? Do we find her here? Do we find Cinderella here at some point? Now, in the tweet, they do say new items are coming to a valley near you with update 5. For instance, no wooded path is truly complete without an artisanal bench, and then they show us this picture. So it seems confirmed that this bench will be coming as a new item in update 5. We don't know how we will get it. It's possible that it could be a Fairy Godmother friendship quest item, but it's totally possible that we could get it in a variety of other ways as well. We'll have to wait and see what role the wand plays, if it's an item that we find and then that's how we get Fairy Godmother in the story, or kick off a Fairy Godmother quest. Are we going to have our own version of a wand that does something in game as a tool? It seems more likely that it's a quest item for the Fairy Godmother quest. So although they haven't explicitly said, hey, Fairy Godmother is coming, it sure seems likely when you include this bench from this scene with the magic wand on it that it's saying, hey, you're gonna meet Fairy Godmother in the next update. Now, some of this video I recorded before this tweet was out, so we might hear other things, but I think this is as good of character confirmation as we have at this point. The new picture with the bench does look like it could be in the Forgotten Lands. We do have the purple grass here and the purple plants. We have the overall dark theme. And so it feels very much like she will be tied to something in the Forgotten Lands, perhaps the story quest, perhaps the pumpkin house, maybe both. What if maybe Fairy Godmother had made a house out of a pumpkin and then something happened to end the spell and it was turning back into a pumpkin and we're stuck in this kind of between phase? I could see something like that being our explanation for the pumpkin house that's in the Forgotten Lands, because it does remind me very much of that in-between shot when Cinderella is racing back and it's slowly turning into the pumpkin, and partway through you see the carriage as a pumpkin. And that's where it seems like Fairy Godmother could be the resident of the pumpkin house or coming along with the story. We do see that silhouette with what could be a pointy hood in the window of the pumpkin house in the roadmap image. And so it seems like that maybe could be the Fairy Godmother inside pumpkin carriage. Why not pumpkin house? And with that major point in the story, learning the secret to the forgetting, it seems likely that we will have a storyline involving the Forgotten Lands, possibly the pillar, and maybe finally putting out the green fires throughout that biome. I wonder how we will be putting those out. It seems like it could be an upgrade to our watering can. Now, Merlin's upgraded our watering can in the past, so it's possible he could be involved, but it seems like these new storylines would probably come from a new character being involved, and that's where I think Fairy Godmother could come in. Maybe she's upgrading our watering can, maybe she's doing something else, but she's probably involved with parts of the story. But it seems like, you know, watering can, it puts out the fire, and it's one of the tools that seems like it's due for an upgrade along with the camera. I would not be surprised if we did see camera upgrades in update 5 as well. And if we are able to put out those fires, it seems likely that we'd be putting them out in stages, so maybe multiple upgrades because there are multiple sizes of the fires. And putting out the fires looks like it will also unlock a new type of chest for us, the red chests that are embedded in those fires that have been there for a long time now. What do you think's in the red chest? And one other thing to think about is in the other biomes, when we have removed obstacles like the stumps, the coral, the ice, the bones, the mushrooms, it opened up a way through for us in the other biomes, or access to new areas. We don't see anything like that in the Forgotten Lands right now, but maybe there is something that could open up for us. So in this tweet, the one where we saw the clock, we see this castle, and I think this is a castle we've seen before from the distance as part of our main story questline, so that is likely where we will see it again in Update 5. Looks like we finally will make it to the castle. It is themed very much like the Forgotten Lands, with the night thorns, all of the twisted thorny shapes, and the green fire lighting the way. So maybe things that we do in the Forgotten Lands will be tied to our ability to get here. Maybe putting out the fires allows us to get here. Maybe it's connected in some other way. Maybe there'll be another portal. I do wonder a little bit if we'll be able to maintain access to this part, if we'll see a merging of the two castles, or if they will stay separate, if it's something we'll be able to visit again. If this and the Forgotten Lands could be tied to some sort of biome expansion. We don't know. That's all just fun things to think about, but it looks like we would be seeing this castle since it is in the official promo image. And when we've seen it before, it didn't remain in the valley. It's something that we could see in the distance as part of the main story questline. So it's totally possible, and perhaps even likely, that it remains something like that, something somewhat separated from the valley. And I'd really like it if this castle is not going to stick around, if there is a way to turn it into a kind of Dreamlight style and choose this theming for the dream castle or for our house, because I really like the way it looks. It does make me think again about the way the Forgotten Lands and the Forgotten Castle really feel Maleficent themed. The green fire, the purple, the black, the twisted pointy shapes being forgotten. Could we see Maleficent in this update too? Maybe, but we don't really have very much to tell us that she's coming. So let's get back to things we definitely know are coming to Update 5, things that we've been told so far, and also what those things could mean. Now this tweet was another piece of information they gave us about Update 5. It simply said umbrellas are coming, and it was accompanied by this video of a character walking holding an umbrella over their shoulder in the same way we might hold a pickaxe. At the bottom we do find out that some of these will be premium items, most likely premium shop items. Hopefully we will be able to acquire them in other ways, crafting, buying from Scrooge, finding them in the chests throughout the valley, but we don't know right now. What we do know is umbrellas are coming. They've shown us just this one with the Disney Dreamlight Valley logo on it, and I have an entire video just talking about what this could mean for Update 5. It seems simple at first until you combine it with other information that they've shared with us. So it could simply mean that we are getting umbrella items. We'll be able to carry them like this. They will have no in-game influence or magical powers, just some new custom item, and it is only umbrellas. But there are three other possibilities that I think we need to consider. The first, on the player survey that Gameloft sent out before this tweet, it asked us about new things that we might like to see in the game and in the premium shop, and one of those was Dreamlight styles for our tools. So making our tools look like other items, like your pickaxe becomes a giant hammer. And so I think there is a possibility that we are being shown the first glimpse of Dreamlight styles for our tools. What if that umbrella is actually a pickaxe? It's carried in the same manner and it would function in the same way in game. This just gives it a different look. So I think that's a possibility, and I think Dreamlight styles for your tools coming in Update 5 is a possibility even if umbrellas aren't one of them. The second thing that it could be is just umbrellas and that's it. But I think we have to consider the possibility that this is our introduction to held items in the game. So a new cosmetic that we would find under the wardrobe menu alongside our hairstyles, clothing, and companions. You could choose a held item that you could carry around the valley. So maybe in addition to umbrellas, we could see things like bags, bouquets, baskets, plush. It opens up a whole world of customization and therefore premium shop possibilities for Gameloft to collect additional revenue from players. So I think it's something that they would consider. We've seen a lot of customization coming with Update 5. That's something that they've talked about expanding, and so I think additional held items coming in Update 5 feels like a possibility. And if they don't come in Update 5 and the umbrella is a held item, I could easily see them expanding on this concept in the future. Now the third possibility is kind of an extension of the previous one. So if we do have held items, even if they're only umbrellas, do you suppose there's a possibility that we might be able to create our own umbrellas in the Touch of Magic tool if they're an item that occurs under the wardrobe menu? Because if we can custom design our own umbrellas, it really could open up a world of possibility. As we'll talk about soon, we're gonna have a way to display our wardrobe in the valley, so if umbrellas are a held item, and they are part of a wardrobe, would we be able to display umbrellas in the valley? And if we are able to display umbrellas in the valley, like as a furniture item, and we were able to make them in the Touch of Magic tool, this could open up a whole world of creative builds in the game. I'm thinking back to when Animal Crossing New Horizons added umbrellas as a customizable item in the game, and people are creating incredible perspective designs with them, and it really added something new to builds and decorating. Now, with Disney Dreamlight Valley being a more 3D game where we can rotate the camera, that concept would have to change some, but I think we'd see some really creative things if we did get customizable umbrellas that we could place down in the game. But what do you think looking at the information we have so far? Do you think it'll just be umbrellas? Do you think they'll be held items? Do you think they'll have some sort of a functional purpose? Right now in the video, it doesn't even look like this would keep the rain off you. Do you think they might be a customization for our tools? Do you think we could customize our own umbrellas? Or do you think it might unlock an entire category of held items in the game? And if it does unlock a category of held items, what would you most like to see? The next piece of information we got from Gameloft was that mannequins are coming, that they're working on them, and they are an item in development. And that came with this tweet along with this video where we could see the player going around to a variety of mannequins displayed inside. When they click on the mannequin, they can either edit the design or wear the head-to-toe outfit instantly. The mannequins seem to come in different poses, and they seem to be able to wear all of our wardrobe items, whether we bought them, they were pre-order bonuses, premium shop items, and we can display all clothing types, and they even include hairstyles and colors. When the player selects the mannequin and puts on the outfit, we notice that the mannequin is still wearing the same outfit, it doesn't take it off, and these could create not only easy quick change options for us in game, but also possibilities for decorating. And so that's what we definitely know from looking at this tweet. But it raises a number of questions, and I do have a whole video just talking about the possibilities for mannequins, but we see them displayed only inside. So can we also display them outside? And if we can display them outside, would we be able to include our companions as part of the outfit? And I could see this going either way. I feel like it was a good idea to display them inside so that we didn't have to ponder the possibility, but since we now have the critter houses where we can have our companions out all the time and playing, I could also see them being out and roaming around near where we put a given outfit. And if we can use them outside, I think that opens a lot more decorating possibilities. And then I wonder, can I display the same item on multiple mannequins? And I hope so, because maybe I want that same hair with multiple outfits. And then could I display the same mannequin multiple times? On a practical level, that would allow me to change into a given outfit in different areas. And on the creative side, it gives us more flexibility in builds if we can use the same mannequin multiple times. And then we see that there are different poses for the mannequins, which is really interesting. I hope that that's something that we can choose. And I also hope we could choose the color and body style of the mannequins. I wonder if they'll allow for that customization, or if all the mannequins will simply match our current character design. But since we can change our body type on the fly in this game, if they were linked to the way that our character looks, would they automatically update if we changed it? It brings up a lot of questions. But if you can use all the different body types, I think this gives us many more possibilities for decorating. The one type of clothing item that I'm not sure I saw displayed was custom clothing, and it feels likely that we would be able to display custom clothing in the game on these mannequins. And then it brings up a whole world of possibilities where can we share our custom clothes and even our regular clothing collections with our friends when multiplayer comes later this year. And multiplayer coming later this year is something Gameloft has confirmed. But could we create our own custom clothing shops that we could then upload and share with other players so they could download our designs? Could we design a mannequin in Scrooge's store that maybe our villagers and perhaps friends, when they're able to visit later, if they're able to visit later, could wear as well? Could this be a way that we start to see custom Dreamlight styles? If in the future multiplayer means that our friends can visit our valley, could they then buy our clothes off of the mannequin if we have them displayed, whether they are custom clothes or not? And then we don't know how we unlock this feature, if it's going to be something that's in the game from the beginning when we load it up after update 5, or if it's something that we might have to unlock through a quest. And I could see this being a quest with Scrooge, where we have to, say, create specific outfits or help him build the first mannequin or something like that, or expand his store in some way. But I could also see it being a quest for Fairy Godmother. She did transform Cinderella's dress in a magical kind of quick change, and I think she'd be a really good fit for unlocking features with this mannequin item, and maybe even a quick change feature in the wardrobe menu. Or perhaps a wand tool similar to Animal Crossing, or any number of other ways she might be involved with this. But I would not be surprised if it's through Fairy Godmother quest that we might be unlocking this feature or expanding this feature. And how do we actually get the mannequins once we've unlocked them, in whatever way that is? Are they something that we have to craft or buy, or, and I'm hoping, are they something that we simply have through, say, the Touch of Magic tool, the clothing menu? Maybe they function somewhat like in the furniture menu. We have the landscaping where I can put down as many trees and bushes as I want. I'm hoping that these function in a similar way, that we don't have to craft them or buy them, that they're not unique items, but that they're an option, since we already have to have the clothes to display them. They did say this is an item that is in development, so we don't know yet. So what do you hope these mannequin items turn out to be? And do you have ideas for how you want to use them? Now here's another tweet that continues on this theme of customization for Update 5. In this tweet, they tell us essentially that there's going to be some changes to the Touch of Magic tool to expand it to include customizable beds. And in the video, we see a variety of options, the way that they've been customized. And this seems to show us some new things in the Touch of Magic tool outside of simply being able to customize a bed. And it brings up a ton of possibilities. So the first thing that I notice, and again, there is a video just on this tweet, of course, it looks like we're able to customize the different components of the furniture separately. So it seems like they've been able to apply designs to the frame, to the sash and back pillows, to the front pillows, and to the comforter separately. We don't know for sure if that's how it's done, or if they were just very, very careful in the way they applied designs and patterns and textures, but it seems like there'll be some level of component design to the furniture customization. Now, the other thing that I noticed is it looks like there's new patterns and textures coming with the furniture upgrade to the Touch of Magic tool. I don't think I've seen a lot of these patterns or that wood grain texture before, and this would give us a new range of tools to apply. So it looks like on the pink bed, we actually have a pattern applied on the comforter and then motifs on top, so it does look like we would be able to layer these things. Now, I would guess that some of these things may end up being specific to furniture customization, but I hope we can use them anywhere. And then if we can customize beds, one of the most abundant objects in Scrooge's shop, what about couches? Maybe even wardrobes? I mean, I would like us to be able to customize everything, but I could see them picking a few other pieces of furniture and allowing us to customize those too. We've been talking for a while about really wanting custom skirts and pants, maybe even shoes and socks, but what other furniture items could we have? And then what if we could create our own custom design patterns in the Touch of Magic tool that we could then apply to things like signs, wallpaper, or flooring, or what I really hope we get, customizable rugs. And I'm hoping with this focus on custom designing in Update 5, maybe we'll finally have an update to crafting where we do have a customization option there as well. So to recap that one, we know customizable beds are coming in Update 5, and it seems likely that it won't stop at beds, that we will probably see other customizable furniture as well. And based on what we see in the video, it looks like we are getting new textures and patterns for the Touch of Magic tool, although there is a good possibility that those will be tied to specific furniture or components of furniture. Hopefully we'll be able to apply them more broadly. And finally, one other thing we know is coming for sure to Update 5 is this teapot. You may have missed this one if you weren't paying attention to the Community Challenge rewards. When we had the Dreamlight Park Community Challenge, once we fulfilled all the conditions, they told us as a bonus reward we would be receiving this item in the mail when Update 5 launches in June. So this was the one tweet that we found out that the update was launching in June. Before that, we didn't know. So it gave us the date for Update 5. It also told us that we would be getting this item. This item is from the Mad Tea Party Teacup Ride. It's that same teapot that you see spinning around in the middle, except it's a tabletop item. It looks like it might have steam coming out of it. It's got a little sparkle in the picture. And that's what we know for sure, that we will be getting this item. And it's another of a bunch of what feel like hints to another Disney property, maybe coming in Update 5, maybe in the future, maybe all simply coincidence. You may have heard people talking about Alice in Wonderland coming to Disney Dreamlight Valley. I want to clarify that Gameloft has said nothing of the sort. We have no confirmation at this time, no even mention of Alice in Wonderland or any of the characters coming to the valley. But here's why many of us have started thinking about Alice in Wonderland. We have things like this teapot, which you could say is simply related to having the Disney Parks item, and it was really easy to transfer parts of that model to a tabletop item, and it's kind of a cute addition and will really help with all of those unbirthday setups that people are making in their valleys. But it's not the only thing that seems related to Alice in Wonderland, especially with the last update. So we have had the Wonderland cookies in the game for a long time. In Update 4, we were promised mushroom furniture, which felt like it could be Alice in Wonderland theme. Looking at it, it feels a little bit less so, but it still does kind of fit. As part of the extravaganza, each week Wally had us chasing white rabbits and catching them in the plaza. And in Alice in Wonderland, we have the white rabbit who's always running around because he's late and Alice is chasing him, trying to catch him. And then if you've played it all since Update 4, you'll notice when you go to the Frosted Heights, all of the flowers are red. All of the passion lilies, which look a lot like roses, have a visual glitch to make them appear red in the game, and it hasn't been patched. And in Alice in Wonderland, we know about the cards painting the roses red. The roses which are not red but visually appear red because they've been painted. And so it feels very much like that. Now, are we seeing the roses get painted red in preparation for the Queen's arrival? Is it a hint to an Alice in Wonderland realm coming? I've heard some mention that the umbrellas tweet with the April showers bring May flowers might be related. I haven't really found that as an Alice in Wonderland reference. If anything, you could say the April showers song in Bambi. So is Bambi coming to the game? I mean, maybe. But one song that is in Alice in Wonderland is the Golden Afternoon, sung by the flowers. And one of the things they say is, especially in the month of June. And June is when we will finally find out what is in Update 5, because that's when it will drop. Between now and then, Gameloft is sure to give us plenty of more information about what is coming in the update. But until we see more, this is what we know for sure. So we have that princess racing into the valley. We'll unlock the secret to the forgetting. Something is happening in the Forgotten Lands with our shadow self and the pumpkin house, maybe not all together. We know we are definitely getting umbrellas. We know we are getting mannequins that we can dress up and instantly change our outfits. We know we are getting an update to the Touch of Magic tool where we can create customizable beds that involves some new application of patterns and textures. And we know we are getting the bench item, and from the wand on the bench we can infer that we are getting Fairy Godmother, and we know we're getting a teapot in the mail. And we know the update is coming sometime in early summer in June. When Update 5 drops, we will be live streaming it to see everything that there is in it and figure out all the secrets to the forgetting. Consider subscribing for more Disney Dreamlight Valley content. Turn on notifications to find out the next time we go live. Hope to see you there.